working away on something. I'm not going to tell you what I'm working on. Well, I can tell you what I'm doing. I'm trying to do a... Oh, somebody just sent me a little pin there. I am trying to do doing a self-portrait and seeing how that goes. And this may never ever be seen on YouTube again, depending on who actually comes along, to see if anybody's online and wants to... I feel like whenever I was a kid, you know, you had those times where you're like, does anybody want to come out and play? So I've got I'm a proper artist with this palette, but just want to work away on this painting and see how this is going to go. We'll give it a while, and sure, if nobody comes on, we'll just switch it off, and that's what we'll do. And here we go. Okay, I've got my grip, I've got everything here, so let's... Now, I might actually start with this. Get this background going here now. And the thing is, because this is attached to the... Because this is actually attached to the canvas that I'm working on, then it's just going to jiggle around everywhere, really, isn't it? So, probably the better idea to move this onto a surface that is therefore not going to be affected by what I'm working on. This part is... You would think you would have had this thought through before you started, wouldn't you? Yo, we have one person on. Hello, one person. Nice to see you. I'm just getting myself organized here. There we go. That's a bit better. So do share what you're at tonight. I'm out in the studio and I'm currently painting away. So do share what you're doing tonight. Are you working on art? It's just started raining where I am. Oh, another person on. So do share what's happening with you. I'm currently attempting a self-portrait. Now I feel a bit like, I don't know, but I've also just done a little video there to communicate how important it is to just trust the process, really. So here I am, trusting the process. Should angle this around a wee bit more so that I'm actually in shot whenever I'm painting. So I'm on to for a bit of chat while I'm doing this other painting here, and see what you're up to, what you're doing with your Sunday night, what's happening in your world, and for company while I'm doing this, working away on this self-portrait. The most interesting of things and places that you find yourself in, you think artistically that you've settled in maybe in a certain area, and then you realise that that's the whole point of being an artist, is that you actually don't get to settle. You just have to keep going and keep trying. So for those two of you who are online, do be chatting. We'll see if we can find some other people online as well and get a bit of conversation going. Did one of these lives a good few weeks ago, and it was great crack. There was loads and loads of people came online, so hopefully we can have that again tonight. What are you working on? What's getting you fired up in your painting at the minute? What do you need to start? What mediums are you using? Who have we got? Oh, good evening, Judith. I have to say I miss you in the class. How's things? You up to much painting these days? I'm I'm in the oils tonight. Hoo-hoo. Packing for holiday, yes, very good. And you're doing the isn't it the drive-in tour? It's not what you're and is it, it's quite a long stretch as well, I think, isn't it? Oh, with four people on. Come on, the rest of you. Do chip in. Share what you're at tonight. Are you packing for holiday as well, or are you just like me going, oh, I would so love to be going away on holiday right now? So the concentration you're seeing is, I don't honestly. Anyway, I'm wanting to keep my thoughts in a good place about this because I think this is important when you're working on something that you don't feel that typically you're not that experienced or confident in, that you keep going. We had four, two have gone. Our other two decided that it wasn't interesting enough. So trying hard to work on this one. It's certainly a certainly different experience than normal. Would you say you did 23 watercolours this week? Oh my goodness. All set for Route 66 in my sketchbook and paints. You'll have the best time just getting the opportunity to be away. Just the two of you and enjoy the travelling around. It'll be fantastic. I'm not jealous at all. So, do you know one thing that I find whenever you're doing this, particularly this type of painting, something that's much more of a stretch, it's the going away and coming back to it that actually makes all of the difference, I think, because that's where you start to get a wee bit of perspective on this, because it's just far too easy to get lost in what you're doing, and it's the going away and the coming back. It's definitely gold. Learning to leave your paintings behind for a while and come back to them fresh. We now have four again, so you four, whoever you are, do chip in and share what you're up to this evening. I'm just going to be scribbling away here. I've never done oil. Don't like the smell. Well, these are very good. These are the artisan. I'll show you these ones. They're so they mix the water mixable oils, which is totally a contradiction in terms, but they're actually fantastic because you don't then have the turpentine issue. And I've done turpentine before, but I mean the smell is pretty. Although I mean I quite like it, but it's pretty intense, and also just terps is not cheap, or white spirits is not cheap, but just thought, oil is something about oil. Oil is a great medium. I was toying with the idea of acrylic, and I just decided, I thought, oil's just a different animal, because you obviously don't have the luxury of the quick dry time, and I suppose then on the other side of it, you have the benefit of the slow dry time, because you can then alter things. But with acrylic, I quite like acrylic because you can paint over it really very easily. But just thought it was time to go and do something like this, really. Give it a whirl. I need to try and mix some of these colours in together. The other problem that I have is the brushes get so stiff. It just seems like it's such a part of the process with the brushes. Yeah, they're great, Judith, they really are. I mean, the only thing is, like, the dry time is really, really slow, but I'd also recommend them. Get myself mixing here with it's also doing skin tones is not something I would do a lot of, obviously because I don't really paint people that very much, but it's fascinating just trying to mix them together again. I'm finding that they are really, the adding in the crimson is a real game changer, but also you add too much of it and it just effectively changes the whole thing, which is either incredibly helpful or not at times. So I'm just mixing as we go. The other thing I want to work on is putting more paint out on the canvas, or not on the canvas, on the... I'm hiding it, Judith, because it's a self-portrait. I'm just going to hide it for a while until I get this thing finished. And actually, it's a painting that I had done of a landscape in the Isle of Man in acrylic, and I just was never really that happy with it. And I sort of looked at it and I didn't care about it enough to try and work it and find it, so just decided that I would paint over it. It just seemed like the right time to do that, so that's what I did. So when do you leave then? Do you fly out first thing tomorrow, or are you just in the packing process? Yeah, trying a portrait, Jeff, trying a self-portrait. See where it lands. The thing with oil is I'm realising is you go through quite a lot of it. It certainly goes down right quick. But I think I have to just be brave for that and accept that and work with that, But it is nice. I love how it glistens. I think it's a loveliest consistency. Oh, very good. So not long to go. Hello to the 5 of you. Do share what you're at. Are you painting? Are you just relaxing? What's happening on your Sunday night? It's a bit darker on that side. As I talk to myself. This is what would happen if we weren't on live. We're just chatting away. Except that then it becomes like I'm a lunatic because I'm effectively talking to myself. So the other thing that I think I'm discovering with the portrait is you're effectively trying to find the person in the marks that you're making, which is really interesting. It just feels like such a different process than I am used to with watercolor, and also with acrylic, because even with acrylic you're it just feels very different. And I think when you're doing an acrylic landscape, it's different because you're working your way, and I know enough now to just keep going, but I don't know enough about portraits to really understand where I'm at in the process. So this is really quite an exploration to figure out what on earth I'm doing and how it's going to work. So it's just pretty interesting. Let's just make that comment. It's an interesting process. There's actually, it's funny, the amount of colours that there are in a face is quite wonderful. You can see how this would get pretty addictive. And also then, see that face? That was my painter face. Also then, I'm noticing how I'm using the brush is pretty different as well. It's just this really interesting process. Quite enjoying it actually. Now that I'm settled that regardless as to whether I like it or not, we're just going to keep going. I think that's been a pretty helpful part of the journey. should really maybe turn this around. Would that be the better idea? People actually like to try and see what this looks like. Turn it around that way. And then we turn the camera. And the only thing is then I can't actually read what anybody's saying. Oh, I didn't think this through today at all. Hiya, how you doing? I'm gonna attach this again to what I was working on before. I deliberately had taken it off because it was it wasn't really working that well in terms of it was sort of jiggling around as I was painting. But see if we can get this to stay put. So sorry, so sorry. Here I am attempting a portrait. We'll just leave that there and then we can... So sorry, JF. Cousin told another sickness. So I am just playing about here. So you can ask me any questions you want. I'm being brave and showing it. Like I said, portraits aren't normally something that I would work on, but I'm trying to just reflectively get over myself and learn. And I don't really want to do sort of classes about it. I just want to explore it and see how I can get there. See what I can find out for myself here, you know. So it's artisan oil, so it's the what do you call it? It's that water mixable oil. So we're just gonna see how this goes and where this lands. But as a lot of you know, this is not a normal subject matter for me. So this is the shininess on my forehead here. So just trying to bring that down in. Maybe needs a little bit of, I'm gonna say thinner, but actually it's just water, so same thing, eh? It's so much with the face seems to be reading where the light is and where the shadows are and all of those kind of things. Also, you want to, like, I certainly want to keep it nice and free, so I'm not, it's this process of trying to find myself, attempting the self-portraits, eh? My ear's incredibly red there. So I need to get a really red ear going. It's lovely using this this type of palette. And my ear, the redness of the ear because my ears are big, and the light whenever it hits them, you know, the kind of redness that you get shining through. So let's darken this one down. So much focus in doing this. So, what are the rest of you up to? I cannot repost this because I've asked that question loads. But what are the rest of you up to tonight? What's keeping you busy? Now I'm gonna have to sort my nose here because I know I have a big nose, but it's by no means that utterly massive. I'm just thinking about even because I wouldn't normally exist in these kind of flash colours. It's trying to think through the best way to find these colours as well, you know, and what colours the shadows actually are is really, really interesting. I think as well being able to come and go at this and you know, come back to it as well is going to be so helpful because, you know, I think, like I said before, you need the perspective change where you're approaching it again and seeing it afresh so that you're not just totally lost in the moment of what, you know, how it's going. Because even as I've come back to it now, this is my third time going at it, and coming back to it, you just see it. It's like you see it with fresh eyes again, so it's really, really helpful. Just trying to get takes loads of white to lighten up the colours too. What were you doing today, Judith? It's craft fair today, sold a few excellent, very good. Where was the craft fair? So much of this is patience, isn't it? So much of what we do as painters is about patience. Just walking through the process, I think, till you find it. And you know, we're definitely by no means there, but just really enjoying this process of finding this. And I thought the safest person to practice on was myself, because that way if it goes doesn't look anything like the person, it's only you you're dealing with. So it was a Atlas Women's Centre in Lisburn, going to teach a beginner class next month. Oh, very good, very, very good. That's excellent. You'll enjoy doing that. And is that then in Lisburn that class is going to be? Gives a nice lighter colour. I feel like I'm doing a Charlie Chaplin tonight, because I'm not really talking as much as I normally would do, because I'm trying to find this. It's the position of the eyes as well, you know. It's there we go. There's a blue, grey kind of shadow colour. Hopefully we'll see that adding something into the mix, which hopefully could be quite interesting. Also the getting the stubbly beard in. Jeff, sounds great, Jeff. For me, a quiet evening and an early night. 6 a.m. start this morning. The same way. So, oh, 6 a.m. What were you doing at 6 a.m.? Were you working today, or were you small children, or? Talking to classes about the pendulum swing of mixing colours. My goodness, has that never been more true than with this one? You don't think you get up that early? I'm confident that in a previous life you probably had to. Although there's something lovely about that time in the morning. Really think it's a lovely, just this lovely time, isn't it? Where it's the world hasn't quite woken up yet. It's quite peaceful and. Maybe you don't feel that if you have to get up. I suppose that's maybe more. I'm talking with someone who's a choice to get up at that time, but I think if that's your job and you have to get up that early, I would imagine it's not as kind of pleasant. These bottles taste. Breaking into song, huh, Jeepers? Forgetting myself. I'll give this brush a bit of a clean, I think. Oh. 32 years of early starts and late nights. Oh my goodness. That is a long time. 32 years is a long time. It's mad when you get to the point where you're talking decades, isn't it? Obviously, I'm clearly not that old, but Would Sunday night be a night for lots of you to paint? Is it a night when you're creative? Is it a night when you kick back and don't really do anything? What do you tend to do on a Sunday night? Saturday, the hospital phoned my 90-year-old father-in-law passed out. Oh my goodness! Tuesday, we spent on receiving. Oh no, not get us down. I'm sorry to hear that. Never easy, sure it's not. We don't ever get used to death. 6 a.m. is great. Nightingale down the road, start singing earlier. Yeah, I on a Sunday I would get up really early and to get organised for speaking in church, and it's just a joy. I know, and even actually, over Christmas period I had the wee studio nice and warm and it was just so cozy. Yeah, 90 years is a good life. 90 years is a long life. Do you think we are? I mean, is it? I'm sure it is probably proven that people are living longer and longer and longer these days. I know of a number of people who are in their 90s and are pretty compos mentis. But that is a good long life for sure. It really is. So there's doing self-portrait makes you totally self-obsessed. Well, no, it makes you totally aware of what's what sort of state yourself is in. Okay, Jeff, I had to early start watching the Sky Change. It's all about the quality and dignity. Sadly, he had a little less last year. Okay. Yeah. And I think that when you meet, I know of a gentleman in particular, and he's in his mid actually to late 90s, and I think his quality of life has dropped, but he still is as I was gonna say as potent, as certainly mentally as strong as he was, and I think then the body starts to go downhill, But for those who are fit and healthy at those age, it must be such an interesting time because really, you're obviously your working life's long done. It just must be an interesting time of life to get to that stage. 103. My great aunt died this year at 103. Now my parents only made 76, 78. 103. What about her physically wise? Like was she able to walk and get about and all that kind of thing? Really need to sort my nose here. My nose has got totally out of hand. I'm trying to find this. Well, I suppose it's this kind of a pinky colour here. Up until last year, I was living independently. My goodness, that is absolutely remarkable. It really is amazing. 103? What a wonderful thought. I love hearing whenever you watch the YouTube videos of people who have lived to those ripe old ages and their comments about when you hear married couples who've been married for 60 years or something, and I remember hearing of once they were asked any advice that they could give to this young couple that they knew, and their advice was laugh together. And I thought, isn't that lovely? What a blessed life. Lucid and independent. No, lucid. There's a great word. Lucid and independent. That'd be good to have in your tombstone, was that? Well, independent in a healthy sense. Lucid and independent. If I reach 60, I'd be like, laughter, humour, lightheartedness is such a wealth. I know, absolutely. And, good relationships. It's got JF, you've thrust us into deep philosophical conversations tonight, which I think is great. But yeah, having good relationships. And I also think as well, relationships with people who you've done life with for a long time. I think it's something that really says a lot about people when they are able to walk through lots of things with others, and the ups and downs of relationships as well, friendships and obviously marriage too, but in a sense that should be a given, but walking through the ups and downs of life and still remaining learning to love. So for any of you who've just joined, you've joined quite a serious conversation tonight. But thanks for showing up here. I am attempting a self-portrait. I'm attempting it in oil. It is something that I have never ever done before. And we're just going to see how it goes. I am actually really committed to the process of this, and committed to learning it too. So no matter how this goes, to actually learn something as I'm doing this. So much a part of this is actually sorry, I'm getting totally distracted with what I'm trying to do here. So much of it is I'm determined to learn, regardless to the outcome. Need more white. Jeez, I'm going through this white like snow off a ditch. We lose so much energy and time fretting about the smallest things. Porter's looking so great. I'm loving what you work. Glad, Jeff. I'm glad. I don't know. Sort of as I was doing this, I thought, oh goodness, I've done this live, and I'm not talking very much, and there's a bit of interaction. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know when does resemblance come. Like, I mean, my proportions aren't great, but I'm pleased with where it's going. I think. Let's see. I love the way that Colin, what do you call him? He's the famous guy. He had a portrait exhibition in the Ulster Museum. Colin Davidson, the name came to me. I love the way that he has this lovely loose style around the faces, and then he just hits you hard with the eyes. I don't know whether I could do that. Maybe if I kept going I could, but I just absolutely love that. So I think, I'm trying to keep the background nice and kind of wishy-washy, really. Keeping the background wishy-washy, and then focusing in on other details that are more important. It is those, it's kind of, geez, with a portrait, it's like every line feels like it does something, whereas with, with landscapes of, I was going to say landscapes of what? Landscapes of anything is not like that. It just doesn't have that kind of seemingly critical, almost, just doesn't have that critical nature. The other thing I absolutely love is this is you can tell it's me. Oh, thank you. Meeting you was you, Colin. Just occurred to me what a weird term wishy-washy is. Yeah, wishy-washy. It's the shiny bit here in my head. I'm trying to get the sunlight is clearly bouncing off the shiny bit where male pattern baldness is beginning to occur. But I mean, here I can't be that. Complain I have friends that don't have any hair. So we shall be thankful for the hair we have. I'm struggling to find how to mix the lightest colours, because it feels like, there is this strange thing that you mix colours and they look so light on the palette, and then you apply them to the canvas and you're like, they're not that, they're not that much brighter. Really surprisingly not that much brighter. And then you're going to need to work this in a wee bit more. Where do we go now? If only there was a roadmap to paintings, eh? Then they wouldn't be creative. Isn't that right? They wouldn't be creative. They wouldn't be individual. The sun of there is looking really good. Well, thanks. Maybe you should turn it. Let me see if I can turn it. Get a bit more light on it. It's a bit better now, isn't it? Obviously the angle that you're looking at, it's a wee bit wobbly too, but need to. So it's interesting, just for me, even turning that angle slightly is quite helpful. So this area here looks really quite muddy, so I think you should. Now what had I had mixed, that's why, jeepers. I had mixed this for the hair. You're all super duper encouraging. Can't thank you enough. And initially it was Judith initially had asked to see what it was that it was doing. Tricky things knowing when to stop. Well, yeah, and I think, I mean, this is new ground for me because, like I've said several times, I don't really do portraits very much, but they've always eluded me somewhat, and I don't want them to anymore. I don't think that's beneficial. So, you know, I figure I can draw buildings, so I should be able to can capture a likeness in a building. So surely there must be a way to do that with, to find a style that works for me to do that with people. So here I am, thrashing that out, and actually I just did a short there about, you know, the conviction of, you know, the only failure is to not try and to not learn from it as well. I'm trying to figure out how to do to get the beard in. I think that's going to be a process to work that out. This other thing, this other part of this that's interesting to me is this kind of mixing on the, you know, on the canvas. So you're nearly presenting a new color in, and you're thinking, right, okay, so that's effectively too strong, but I do need it there, and how do I then get that to sit with the rest of it? And I think the answer is you certainly, what I'm finding is you're trying to mix it on the canvas. Oh, thanks, Judith. Jury was out for me on that. I thought I deliberately kept it nice and loose, and I thought, you know, wanted to keep going with it. So did. There's a lot more science in this than I would normally do, but I'm sure you'll understand. But me, I'm putting myself out here tonight doing this, aren't I? Yes, so that was the other bit. Wanting to try and get this blue tones were stunning. Thank you. It was that phthalo blue in the Windsor Newton. Get this kind of area lined up a bit. I wonder actually, could I do that better with mixing doing it with a palette knife? So I'm gonna give that a go. Do you think it? I always wonder, is it nice to watch people mixing with palette knives? I'm using yellow ochre. Move it over. Now it's probably got a lot of yellow ochre. I'm going to take some of the crimson. The crimson. We don't. Too much. Oh well. We'll mix it in together. Sometimes I think it takes. Yeah, it needs a bit of brown. Using the corner of the palette to get the browns. Should show you where I'm actually mixing. Thanks very much, Harriet. Yeah, there's more to concentrate on tonight, tell you that. Now, I need to... Now, if I put that on, so that's going to be it's far too dark. But, actually, I wonder if I added it. So, I've got, oh, very good. A little bit more of the dark tone in there. Just mix it through. And then it might need a little bit more white just to lighten that. Oh, goodness, that's the thing as well. When you're mixing with the palette, is you really have to move it around because there's going to be little sort of threads of the other colors not mixed in properly. I think so. I think that conviction's so important. So genuinely, I feel a sense of conviction to just I want to do a self portrait, and I've spoken over myself so many times. I don't do people, and I make jokes about it, and I don't really do people, but at the same point, I would like to learn how to, and I just want to learn. So I'm just going to blend this in here. And something I love about oil is it's like when, the guys in the moon, you're left with an imprint. Right. So we'll have that one. Jeff, I did a month of selfies in September. I'd say I had a prompt, blank contour, particular material definitely helped me overcome my phobia of self portraits. I do like doing the odd, continuous line self portrait. I did one of C.S. Lewis, a number of years ago, which actually sold, which was quite one of those like full circle moments. It sold in the C.S. Lewis Square in Belfast at a market there, and really quite liked that. And I was very fond of the portrait. I thought it was well done. But on the whole, and I've done some, I suppose the portraits that I've done of people, I would really like to change the narrative on that, and not be saying all the time, it's not something that I do it is something that I do sometimes. But just growing confidence in that area. And here I am. And I think want to be, we all want to put our best foot forward all the time, and in actual fact, what's most helpful is when we put the wonky one forwards and have the courage to actually try something. So here I am, trying away. Oh, and my bronzer comment was with a little sweet tea southern drawl from Alabama. Alabama. We girls do love our bronzer makeup over here. Yeah, my daughter loves her bronzer as well. I think it's Otterzan. Yeah, thank you, Judith. Judith, try googling selfie timbre. Selfie timbre. Maybe able to find a list of prompts somewhere, maybe not. Southern Drawl. I was in Atlanta, 2003, so 21 years ago, and I just loved the accent, and one of my favorite movie of all time is Forrest Gump. Run, Forrest, run! Just and then one of the girls who the girl who was leading the youth in Alabama and she was driving the minibus for us. She did that for me several times. Run! Sorry, my voice is breaking. Run, Forrest, run! Just loved it. So Annie, anytime you be proud of that Southern drawl. I don't know what the heck I did there. Let's get the finger into that, I think. Annie Petralis, this is excellent. I can't make my face resemble the people I'm drawing. At least they look like people now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we're getting there. We're certainly getting somewhere. Don't know where that somewhere is, but I'm quite happy with it. And in all transparency, and I think in all honesty, I mean, I would quite like it to look like me, but I also would be just happy with it looking like a person. And for me to be proud of it. I really like that. I need to get more white. Cheapers. Sponsored by Artisan Water Mixable Titanium White tonight. And just dropped it on my rug. 2 places on my beautiful rug. Gonna have to get the baby wipes out now. Well, it is water mixable, so here's hoping that a baby wipe will lift it. Oh, here, yeah. I guess you can't really put a studio or a rug in a studio and somehow expect it to stay clean, eh? That's the thing, I like a place to be clean. Not one of these messy artists. At least yes, at least it's water based. I'm delighted about that, and it came out really well there, so no complaints. Okay, now I'm always looking around for the same colour. The palette knife certainly brings a different tilt to this, you know. Maybe this is the way to get the laughter lines. I have to say, I like my laughter lines. I think it's something you can be proud of, eh? Great portrait colours, thank you. Hey, your painting looks like Colin Woodward. I know him anywhere. Judith, that's why I avoid paint. I have enough watercolor on the wall by my desk. I know Toby had, if any of you aren't fans of Toby Hester, get on his stuff. Probably the majority of you are here because of Toby. But I mean, what a guy. But anyway, he was showing me a picture of his wall, and it was like, my goodness, what a mess. He is a messy painter. There's part of me always wanted one of those studios that was just messy, but that would require me to be messy. And I don't really like that. So I don't have one of those studios. let's abandon the palette. Oh, now this is interesting. Like effectively, I can mix this on here. Get some of that on there. It's good. See all these new techniques. It's great. Absolutely be proud. Oh, guys. I was I think it was pretty I mean, I was just going to come on and not genuinely come on and not show. Because I thought just it's just about having the company while you're painting. But I'm glad that I did turn it around. I find it very affirming, people. So thank you very much. You've helped this budding portrait artist feel like at least he's doing something. Now, I'm gonna go mega small for this because I don't want to. We're gonna try and see, figure out what colour my eyes are here. This is where behind it have one of those later things. Eyes. Okay, Jeff. Self-Timber didn't come up with anything but self-portrait prompts did. Excellent. Good tip. Annie Petralis, thanks Judith. I have no idea what water-based oil is. Probably can get it here anyway. Annie, where are you? Where are you, Annie? Are you the lady with the southern drawl? No, I think is that Harriet? Who's the southern drawl? Harriet, that's Harriet. So Annie, where are you based? Yeah, Windsor Newton, let me show you. Water mixable oil colour, and it is actually water mixable. It's fantastic. Yes, Annie, I know Toby's great. What a guy. He really is fantastic. I'm really looking forward. It's only a few weeks really until we're doing our weekend away in Bath. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. Never met him. So it'll be really nice to meet him and really nice to teach with him and to get time with the guys that are coming. So really, really looking forward to that. He's just put a message on there if you're on Instagram. Toby's just popped up. He's out scouting in Bath. Scouting around, so looking forward to that time with everyone. You can just about hear the rain happening on the roof here as well. So these are interesting moments. The window of the soul, eh? And then there's a big old white. Big old white mark there. The local fan. Harriet. Oh, Annie's in Greece. Oh. Yes, funny to do, but I love that you're so different. Who said, oh, Toby and I? Yes, very much so. And actually, that's often the synergy, isn't it? The difference. The dovetailing, let's go with dovetailing. Annie's in Greece, Colin, international fan base here. Greece, yes, in Italy. And the local one, Judith. All right, mine too, Judith and Dan. I also need a rug to cover my acrylic ink off my beige carpet. Dan Bolton, I need to plant my potatoes, but I've been smearing paint and ink all morning. Tremendous. Enjoy your potato planting. And Judith, yes, the local fan. You did. You did two tours. Two tours in the watercolor class. Really, I miss you guys, and I miss you guys. It's I feel like funny I messaged I know Rob from outside, and I messaged him and it said it's like the stabilizers have come off. So lovely to have friendly faces when you're first starting anything. So Judith, I hope you have your friendly faces for your initial people in your classes. You'll do great. Are we getting somewhere? Yeah, it'll be good to see you. Hey, Harry, would love to have you, and your southern drawl. You were watering potatoes today, Annie. If your shoots are done or not. Oh, you have them over. Lovely. Do you know who knew that your finger would be so helpful in doing oil? I had no idea. Now the forehead. I've kind of forgotten about my forehead. I need to get some more. Although, do any of you know the phrase, or not the phrase, the word sfumato? Sfumato. The Italian definitely will. But it's that sort of nearly sort of dusted paint. It is obviously quite, it's not been mixed with anything and just kind of dusted on. See, this is really quite a quiet business. I need to resolve that mouth. The mouth needs seriously resolved. But we'll get there. It'd be easier for me not to have a beard. Paint yourself without a beard, Colin. Give yourself a break, eh? I'll have to pack up soon here. You can literally lose hours when you're painting, can't you? And I appreciate the company, so thank you to you guys who came on tonight. Appreciate it very much, I need to flashy this up a bit. going to have to go. So enjoying this. This is where you could just lose hours. Here, there's personal growth. Key change. Colin is declaring enjoyment of doing a portrait. So we need to get this darker down here. Yeah, and well, my wife's busy tonight doing. She's still in a course, so it's actually, I think, working out quite well. That we're both doing different things tonight, but I lost that there a little bit. Get it back. Need to bring that back in again. That line of light. Yeah, I can understand that. And I think, it's always the balance, isn't it? And I love having the studio. I mean, it feels like a total and utter grace gift. And just such a lovely space to be out in. But also, having the Friday to paint is just wonderful, because actually everybody else is away at work, and I can just be out here, and you don't have that sense of guilt. And I think it's probably quite real for most of us. You don't want to be, because the nature of this is all consuming, and it has to not be as well. So it's both. Right, I want to try and resolve that little eye there before I go and pick up my great children. Not my great children, as in my children who are great. Not as in, because I'm not old. Okay, we're definitely getting somewhere. Yeah, what did you say, Dan? Is it customary to burn your first sketchbook like the Vikings? Oh no, don't, Dan, don't, above all things, don't do it, Dan, don't do it. Yeah, I can understand that, and I think it's trying to keep those healthy boundaries, isn't it? So that actually, the art stays a good thing, and it doesn't take over your entire life, because it's so easily could. Couldn't it? I mean, I don't think I'm on my own with that at any stretch. Okay, people. Well, yeah. I mean, I think we're kind of getting there, certainly. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for your kindness, for watching. Just great to have you here. Let me see. Look forward to seeing it finished. Yes. Barney Mumby Price, lovely painting. Is this acrylic? Have you heard of Shadow Individuals? No, haven't heard of them. Look, thank you so much for I am actually genuinely encouraged. The joys of the internet. So thanks for all of your likes, subscribes, all the things that you say. It's really appreciated. Don't these things make difference to actual humans? So have a good rest of your day, whatever time zone you're in. Have a good rest of your day, and thanks so much, and hopefully see you sometime soon. Bye.